It happened on a Saturday afternoon. I went to Target alone just to get a few things for the apartment. Detergent, some snacks, and maybe browse the clearance section. The store wasn't too crowded, but there were people around. I had just stepped into the women's shoe aisle when a woman, probably in her 40s, approached me with a huge smile. "I love your boots," she said. "Did we go to high school together?" It was weird. I didn't recognize her at all, but I smiled politely and told her I didn't think so. She just kind of stood there for a second, still smiling, then nodded and walked off. I thought that was it. Just a random, overly friendly shopper. About 10 minutes later, I saw her again. I was in the kitchen aisle looking at some utensils when I noticed her standing at the far end of the aisle. She wasn't looking at anything. She wasn't holding any items. Just that same empty red basket. I moved to another section, pretending not to notice her, but I felt her eyes following me. 5 minutes later, I was in the cosmetics aisle. She was there too, again, doing nothing but standing still, holding the basket. She never picked up a single item. I started feeling genuinely uncomfortable. I decided to shake her off by zigzagging through several departments. I went from electronics to home decor to snacks, skipping any logical pattern. Every time I thought I'd lost her, I'd turn around and catch a glimpse of that same smile and red basket in the corner of my eye. When I finally went to check out, I used the self-checkout lanes. I scanned my items quickly, feeling on edge the entire time. And then I saw her again. She was standing just beyond the end of the registers, watching. She wasn't checking out. She wasn't in line. Just standing there. That's when I turned and asked, "Are you following me?" Her smile froze for a moment. Then she gave a little laugh and said, "Oh no, sorry. I thought you were someone I knew. I didn't mean to scare you." I didn't believe her. I left the store fast and sat in my car for a while, just watching the entrance. A few minutes later, I saw her walk out, empty-handed, only to turn right back around and re-enter the store. She didn't buy anything. She didn't even pretend to shop. That alone would have been creepy enough. But then I saw her walk up to another woman, maybe a little younger than me, and she said the exact same thing she'd said to me. "I love your boots. Did we go to high school together?" I don't know what she was after. Maybe she was trying to distract people for someone else. Maybe she was looking for a specific type of target. But whatever it was, it felt rehearsed, cold, not like some lonely person who wanted to talk. I never reported her. Maybe I should have. But the whole thing felt surreal. Now, when I go to Target, I'm always scanning the crowd. I don't shop alone anymore. I don't take compliments from strangers the same way. Something about that day rewired my sense of safety, and that red basket still shows up in my dreams. I worked at a Target in southern Arizona for nearly 3 years, mostly doing overnight shifts. I liked it because the store was quiet. No customers, no loud announcements, just me and a few co-workers unloading boxes and restocking shelves. Most nights were uneventful, just the dull hum of lights and the occasional beep of scanners. But there was one part of the store I always avoided. Register 8. A few months after I started, someone told me that a cashier had died there. A heart attack, right during a shift. They said she collapsed mid-sentence, still wearing her red vest and name tag. Paramedics didn't even make it in time. She passed away right there, in front of customers and co-workers. The weird part, no one ever talked about her. No memorial, no plaque, just silence. But every night, weird stuff would happen. It started with little things. The register scanners would beep randomly, even when no one was near them. Sometimes lights in the back room would flicker, always the same one, above the employee lockers. We'd joke about it, saying the ghost's awake, but no one really laughed. One night, around 3:45 a.m, I walked up front to clock out. I passed the registers like I always did. The store was dark, just a few safety lights on. As I walked past register 8, the screen lit up. It wasn't gradual. It flicked on instantly, bright green. "Welcome," it said. I stood there, staring at it. I hadn't touched anything. No one was nearby. The other registers stayed dark. Only 8 was glowing. I waited a minute. Nothing happened. Then, as suddenly as it came on, the screen went black again. The next night, it happened again. Same time, same register. I mentioned it to one of the older employees, an older woman named Sandy who'd worked there for over a decade. She didn't even flinch, just said, "It always lights up around then." No joke, no concern, just routine. After that, I started keeping track. Over the next few weeks, I noticed it happened about every 3rd or 4th night. Sometimes once a week, sometimes twice in a row. Always register 8, always between 3:30 and 4 a.m, and always when the store was completely empty. It started to feel like a pattern, like something or someone was trying to be noticed. One morning, a guy from electronics came up to the front to grab something. He passed register 8 and stopped suddenly. I saw him freeze and look around. When I asked what was wrong, he said, "Did you just see that?" The screen had turned on again, right as he passed. But this time, it didn't say welcome. It flashed something else, just for a second. Help! I didn't sleep that day. We never figured out what caused it. Some said it was faulty wiring. Others said it was the system auto-rebooting. But to this day, that register gets replaced more than any other, and the techs can never explain why. I transferred stores a year later. I still work at Target, but I never forget register 8, and I never clock out at night without glancing at it, just to see if it still glows.